everybody, welcome to our section 5.3 lecture video on adding and subtracting signed decimal numbers. So adding or subtracting decimals, it's really similar to adding and subtracting integers. This is probably going to give you guys some flashbacks to chapter 1 today. But to do it, if you don't have a calculator, make sure that your decimals are aligned so they line up. And then make sure that then the decimal place for your sum or difference is going to be lined up with the numbers being added or subtracted. Okay, but really for most of you guys, you're going to use your little 4-function calculators and have a great day with it. The bigger question is, are you adding or subtracting the numbers? And then is your answer going to be positive or negative? So it's going to be a nice little refresher from chapter 1 again, okay? So in example A, I've got 0.5 plus 0.1, so I've got a positive plus a positive. So I should be adding and my answer should be positive. So you can even do this in your calculator if you'd like. You're going to do 0.5 plus 0.1, and you're going to get 0.6 as your answer. In part B, we've got negative 2.7 plus negative 3.2. So this one I've got a negative number plus a negative number. And remember, a negative plus a negative, we should be adding, and it should give us a negative answer. So in your calculator, all you'll do is do 2.7 plus 3.2, which is going to give you 5.9, and then the answer is negative because a negative plus a negative gives you a bigger negative. In part C, I've got negative 0.8 plus 2.4, so now I have a negative plus a positive. Now when you have different signs, one's negative and one's positive, that's when you're going to subtract. And so you can do 0.8 minus 2.4 if you'd like to, or you could do 2.4 minus 0.8. You do that in your calculator and you're going to get 0.56. And then you have to think, is my answer going to be positive or negative? Well, the bigger one is negative. If it helps you to, have 2 decimal places to match up with 2 decimal places, that's 0.80 and 0.24. And 80 is bigger than 24. That's the larger value. It's negative, so my answer is negative. Alright, let's do a little bit of subtraction. In part D, I've got negative 7.5 minus 2.37. If you remember from chapter 1, subtraction is the same thing as adding the opposite. So you can change this to negative 7.5 plus negative 2.37, if that helps your brain a little bit. And now I've got a negative plus a negative, which gives you a bigger negative. We should be adding. And so when you add those together, you'll get 9.87. And the answer is negative, since these are negative. In part E, I've got 187 minus 8.39. You could probably go ahead and type that in your calculator and have a great day. You're just going to get 178.61. So it is subtraction. The 187 is the bigger number. It is positive, so our answer is positive. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and let you guys try one now, okay? If you haven't yet, go ahead and try part F. You have negative 5.006 plus 8.2. I'll give you just a second to do that. Go ahead and pause your video, and I'll give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. You should be getting 3.194. It is positive since the 8.2 is bigger, and 8.2 is positive. Alright, part G. I have 632.021 minus a negative 295.9. So minus a negative, same thing as adding the opposite, so that'd be adding positive. So 632.02 plus positive 295.9. And you can type that into your calculator if you'd like, and you're going to get 927.921 as an answer. Alright, in H, it's the same numbers except that now the first one's negative. So we've got negative 632.021 minus a negative 295.9. So again, minus a negative is the same thing as adding the opposite, which would be adding positive 295.9. Alright, now you've got a positive number and a negative number, which means you should be subtracting. Okay? And if you're subtracting those, you'll do the bigger number minus the smaller number, 632.021 minus 295.9, and you would get 336.121. Then thinking, is it positive or negative? Well, the bigger number is negative, so that means my answer is negative. Alright, last one, part I. I'll let you guys have another one to try. I've got negative 100 plus 3.09. You guys have a minute, try that one. And we'll go over the answer in 3, 2, 1. You should be negative 96.91. So since you have a negative number and a positive number, you're subtracting again. And then when you subtract, the answer will be negative since the bigger number is negative. Alright, next up, how about a little application problem? Let's see, in this nice table right here, we've got Amy's monthly expenses. We have how much she's spending on different categories throughout the month. How much is she spending on rent, her car payment, TV, internet, electricity, groceries, and entertainment. So the first thing it says is, what is Amy's total monthly expenses? So remember that the word total means that we're looking at the sum. We're looking at all of those expenses added up. So if you take your calculator and you add every single one of these values up, what do you get? Let's see here. I believe we are getting $1,079.22. So we should be getting here. Let's see, next one it says, if Amy's monthly income, so that's how much she's making at her job, is $1,500. What is the difference between her income and her expenses? So how much can she put into savings? So it's always important, you know, with budgeting to spend less than you earn, so then you can save up money, so then you can buy stuff when you need it. You have things for emergencies and things like that. So you want to know how much she can put into her savings. So the difference between her income and her expenses would be income, which is $1,500, minus expenses, which is $1,079.22. And when you subtract those two, I believe you are getting $410.78. If I'm wrong, you guys can let me know. Alright, last thing. It says, what is the difference between Amy's car payment and her grocery expenses? So, difference is a subtraction word, so we're subtracting. Since it doesn't have any switching order words, we should be doing her car payment minus her groceries. So let's look up here. For her car payment, she spends $122.45. For her groceries, it's $112.98. So we're doing the difference. We're subtracting those two. And when you subtract them, you should get a difference of $9.47. Okay? Hope this helps you guys get a good start for the week, and good luck.